you know, going by what the book says, you know what I mean? When this trip arm comes up, trips that igniter in time, this is being a 1.5 horsepower McCormick-Deering-engine or International Harvester M, type M. And the test machine I've got set up here, the dimensions is all the same as if they were on the engine using original engine parts. If you were running the M with the magneto as it was intended to be, this L mag on this particular one, this would be the wiring diagram, come up from the magneto up to the igniter fixed electrode. Okay, if you're going to run any of these engines, whether it be John Deere or just to call one name out of some other ones, is I'm going to run this engine on a battery and coil. So I'm just going to disconnect this magneto wire completely, not to confuse. And this is more about the low tension coil than it is the timing or anything. Meaning that I'll have a coil, and this coil right here that's a lone oak coil right there, you know, store-bought. They advertise it for 6 volts. I'm going to spark it with 12. And this is a coil which is quite familiar if you into really old hit and miss engines. This shape and configuration and size, both of them is the same. The coil wire inside, in and out, in and out. The reason for the machine to be out is to, you know, kind of see is big better. To test this one, to compare this coil low tension to this coil low tension to this coil low tension. And we're going to look at the spark right there when that magneto, when that igniter trips, we'll see a spark over there. Let's hook them up. We'll use this lone oak coil first. But you may observe, and this is quite important, to use any type of low tension coil or igniter engine for the correct positioning of the igniter points. And you can see on this igniter here, I have adjusted those points by the spring, by the whole mechanism here, to achieve the point gap always open. If we can see it with nothing hooked up, when this comes around, you see it close them, okay, and then it open. That momentarily closing of those is what that's the dwell time. That's how long it takes for this coil to energize. That's all the time it has to do that. So the more longer that points are closed, is the more your coil is energized. So if you have an overheating coil, 10 times out of 10, it'll be because your point setting on your igniter. Just adjust it and all will be well. But 12 volt battery, recently charged, so it's really 12 volts, like topped off. So the wiring, you disregard negative and positive into the direction of the circuit. It operates either way. And the old advice from years back is you could reverse that circuit occasionally, and if you were pitting on one side of your electrode and you reversed it, then it would reverse that pitting. I'm just saying. You have one connection to this. Make sure that's a good connection, and come around and hook up to your battery. Which that's that function of that wire. That's all that wire do right there. Okay, right here's your coil. Right there. Okay, you got another wire. Take notice, write this down in the book over there. You got the other wire that comes from your battery around and connects to your coil. Either one will be all right. And then the next one is you connect on the other side of the coil, and then you connect it to a ground onto the engine itself. I'm going to use that little hang down thing right there. It's a little bare metal place that I can attach that to. So that's that circuit. Observing the spark as I rotate the engine as it would be the engine ready to run. If you have an engine and you don't, or igniter and all this set up, and you don't have a spark like that right there every time on time, and that's a really nice blue spark right there. That's that blown up coil right there. But and you see when I stopped, I stopped where the push rod was on top of that cam there, so that put the points in an open position. So now no current is going through the system. If the engine was to stop for some reason, was those points closed and you was off down yonder doing something, then it would heat up your coil and battery. It's not good. But that's the lone oak coil. Now, just to take the lone oak coil out of the circuitry, take it out. We'll try this coil here, which is it's a familiar coil on the showgrounds. You'll see these quite often, and like I say, it's from ground to one of them, and then from the other one to the battery. And then from the battery, observe spark. Noting that there's no current going through the system now, but because I am not against that little pivot there that this pivot's against. So if you come around like this right here, okay, it's coming back, it's latching, it comes on back a little more. Okay, now it's coming forward. Okay, if the timing and everything is right with your marks and all, that spark will happen. If you noticed, when I came around like that explaining it, that whole time, I had them points closed over there. But because I was against this electrode, watch this. Like right there, those points should be, and they are. See, the system's energized now, and the coil would get hot for extended length of time sometime. But no, there ain't no delay in to have a spark like that right there. You actually need a good igniter. You know what I mean? Your shaft is all good and everything. Matter of fact, this has got a new shaft and a new hammer shop built here in the shop here. I made that some time back. But that's the spark that's being produced by this coil here. Listen. Okay, we'll bring that old big one out now. This coil right here was a recent internet find. I cleaned those up and tightened them up a little bit. Same setup. You just add it into the circuit with the battery. Observing the spark being produced and observing that the push rod trip is there's a gap there, so there's no pressure being put on this like that. That's what happens. No, nothing's going through the system now to produce any heat in the system. Let's turn the engine as the crankshaft would be in relationship to the timing gear. Quite robust, even to the point of producing a little spark shower there, I see. Oh yeah, sparks. Yeah, this coil right here would run most anything. That's on 12 volt now. Hey, y'all leave a comment, come on back next week and we'll test something else, Do you need a big coil to run a big engine? I think a big coil to run a little engine.